September is pretty stacked as well, although releases are tilted towards the end of the month, likely due to the release of Starfield, although we do have a game that is, on paper, more popular than that and even Silksong, but let's begin with Witchfire, a grim, dark fantasy roguelite first-person shooter from ACT People Can Fly developers, also known as the people who made Painkiller, which is why a return to this kind of setting is interesting. It has unique, strange weapons and has you building forbidden pagan magic, where you are on a quest to hunt down a witch. Most curiously, this developer was previously associated with The Vanishing of Ethan Carter from 2014, with this game having been in some sort of development ever since 2015, so that's 8 years and counting, so I hope it's good, but will be an early access release for now. A fun little title that I have my eye on is RoboDunk, essentially roguelite NBA Jam but with robots, where the art style is pretty unique, which makes it stand out. It's 2v2 action with the different robots having different abilities, strengths and weaknesses, as well as upgrades roguelite style as you progress from one match to the next.
Chaos.
It also has roguelite meta progression with a huge skill tree and plenty of unlocks, so it checks all the boxes of a roguelite and is quite different from the usual combat focused titles, so definitely drop this one a wishlist. Similarly, another smaller title that has impressed in demos and previews is These Doomed Owls, a roguelite survival city builder with deck building elements where you play as one of 3 gods and attempt to lead your civilization to victory. Personally, the pixel art is a big draw since it just looks good, where the tactical deck building and deciding where you place buildings and resources will be interesting, not to mention the defense aspect of having to fight off invaders, where this should be pretty good as well. If you're an indie developer and have no idea how to start with marketing your game, get on my mailing list via the link in the description below, where I'll send you some free templates and guides soon. There are a number of cozy games in September where a no-brainer pick is Paleo Pines, basically Stardew Valley but with dinosaurs, so what's not to love? The best part is that you can ride these dinosaurs and even get them to help you in the farming, from plowing the land, clearing rubble, or even watering the crops. The whole dino wrenching aspect seems wonderful as well, all held together with a great art style, where there's even an exploration component where you uncover the island's secrets, although I don't believe this has direct combat, so it's a cozy game through and through. Let's add something not so indie to the list with Korean Pinocchio Bloodborne Lies of P, one that is loosely based upon that story and is set in France in the late 19th century.
The stage is set.
This has become one of the most hotly anticipated titles of the year, since the concept and world is intriguing, although it did get its fair share of criticism for being a little too similar to Bloodborne down to the transforming weapons. Still, it is fairly hyped, although demo impressions have been a little mixed, so let's hope that they have tightened up the gameplay, and I do wonder if this will be received like Steel Rising, or if it will do better than that, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. As of recording, do you know that there's a game that somehow has more Steam followers than Starfield and Hollow Knight Silksong? That spot goes to Party Animals, a wobbly physics multiplayer title that looks like the second coming of Gang Beasts, but for the life of me, I cannot figure out why this is so popular. In Gang Beasts fashion, you play as these wobbly humanoid creatures, battling in a number of wild and wacky arenas, with realistic physics being a key selling point as you seek to do battle in the ultimate party game. I guess it has to be the cute animals, right? But then again, it doesn't seem like a feature that would make it more popular than Silksong, so let's see if this game is a pretender or if it lives up to the hype and becomes the best-selling indie game of the year. We just got a release date confirmation for AK-xolotl, a pixel art action roguelite that looks like one part Enter the Gungeon and one part Blazing Peaks, where you play as the titular creature, only instead of being cute and cuddly, you're building a bunch of guns to shoot, kill, cook and eat the other creatures. Yes, our little creature is as bloodthirsty as they come, also having a very natural tie-in to the roguelite run-based system, which I do appreciate, since axolotls can regenerate like lizards, and you're also rescuing baby axolotls or axolotls, nurturing them in your pond as they grow up to be your next fighter, so if you're a fan of roguelites, this is one to get. It's finally here. After so many years in development, the next title from the developer of The Friends of Ringo Ishikawa is here in Fading Afternoon. Another title set in Japan, but instead of high school delinquent gangsters, you have the Yakuza instead. You play as a middle-aged Yakuza who was one of the generals of the clan, sent to prison for crimes committed, but now finds himself with a new lease on life. However, as you can see from the trailer, there's always the temptation of getting back into your old ways of ultra-violence and taking care of business, and while there are some beat-em-up elements like in his earlier games, when swords, knives and guns are involved, of course things get much more violent. There are also sandbox life sim elements as you traverse and explore the city, where a critical aspect of this game is that our protagonist is wrestling with his age as well. I believe the character is supposed to be 40 plus years old, so it's definitely a different kind of protagonist, where it looks ambitious and has been a long time coming, where I was so pleasantly surprised to see this on the list of upcoming releases that I had to give it a mention. This next title has only been recently reviewed and has already gotten a lot of attention, since Cocoon is the next game from the lead gameplay designer behind Limbo and Inside, now striking it out on his own under a new developer, but this is an adventure puzzle game with a cosmic mystery to unravel. There are worlds within worlds to explore, each presumably having some sort of puzzle aspect that you need to wrap your head around, which I believe has to do with these orbs that feature prominently in the trailer. And while there are antagonistic monsters, I don't believe it has direct combat, being more in the vein of games like Inside. On a similar note to Fading Afternoon, another long in development title that I've been looking forward to is this cozy life sim title set on a Japanese island and is centered around cats. You are searching for the mythical sun cat Abe after having moved to the island recently, where there are townspeople to meet and cats to befriend. But there are also men in black types lurking around the island as well. But central to all of this is the titular night market of Minako's Night Market, where you can barter and trade items, play minigames and more, looking absolutely wonderful, and you can find more upcoming games for the rest of the year in this video.